bro, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Why, bro?
Hanging out.
This music got you acting a fool all
Yeah,
the
bro.
time for no
Absolutely.
reason, bro. Got you acting up. Speaking of acting up, we gotta tell him this story, but we'll tell it. But let's just introduce it. What's going on, y'all? It's another day on the Day One podcast. I'm your co-host Anthony. Name in the thing right there. Got my co-host Kyle. Say what's up.
What's going on, y'all?
Yeah, my man right here, acting crazy. We went to go see Monday Night Football last night at one of the spots that we go to. Um, we were actually trying to catch the World Series, but it got postponed to tonight because of rain. Uh, and we get our food, we get our drinks and stuff, and my man, big tipper over here, giving the waitress a big tip. He's acting a fool.
It ain't acting a fool. It's acting right, brother.
Left his number on the receipt, but she ain't right back. But they gave you the Geno Smith treatment.
Yeah. I know what you're gonna say. Oh my god.
You wrote her off. She ain't right back.
Yeah, for real. Oh man. You know, I can take an L. Like I always say, even LeBron James can shoot 50% now and again. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all good.
That's a flawed statement because like the league average is like 46%.
No, you don't be understanding. It's like you know what I mean? You're never gonna hit 100%. That's why LeBron shoots 50%. Like that's what you know what I mean? That's what it. You know what I mean? That's what it means.
You're still shooting above league average though. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we cool. Yeah, we all right.
Yeah, so we got a jam-packed pod. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We just trade deadline just happened, came and went today. A record 10 trades, most in NFL history. We saw a lot of guys move to a lot of certain places. Contenders getting stronger, and other teams selling to bolster up their future. Also, some NBA news with the Brooklyn Nets and their coaching staff and that whole shitstorm over there.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about tonight's game with the World Series in Philly at the bank.
At the bank.
At the bank.
Red October.
We'll also touch on our picks from this past week, and talk about Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, so, bro. What you trying to start with?
Honestly, bro, it don't really matter to me.
Let's talk the Ime Udoka crap and the Steve Nash stuff. So, for all of you that don't watch as much basketball as I do, you know, I'm like in the 99th percentile when it comes to consuming basketball. But the Brooklyn Nets, you know what I mean, run by Joe Tsai out there, Katie and Kyrie being on that team, just fired their coach, Steve Nash, which might be a year too late. But and they decided to hire Ime Udoka from the Boston Celtics. For me, it's like like as flawed as Steve Nash is, he's the only person in that environment right now that wasn't stirring the pot or doing some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's fire him and go get a guy that was having sexual intercourse with somebody in the Boston Celtics staff. So let's just go ahead and fucking throw some gas on the fire.
Yeah.
But I think for me, when you're looking at when you're looking at it from a basketball standpoint, you see what Ime Udoka did to that Boston team defensively last year once they bought in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like there's a better coach that they could have gotten for that Nets team because, like, the offense is going to be there. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons running your point, Seth Curry, and Joe Harris shooting a pill. But
I
like,
mean, that's the Achilles heel of the Brooklyn Nets team. Really, honestly, is defense. And I mean, Ime Udoka had the Celtics last year. I mean, they went to the finals for a reason. He had them playing damn good defense. They're top of the NBA.
mhm.
Um, the personnel is the one thing that still is just kind of like for me as far as the Nets defense. I
True.
mean, he can definitely like help as far as like scheme and things of that nature, but you got to have the guys to be able to run a system properly.
True.
And I mean, the Nets do have some 3-and-D guys and some defensive guys. Just like, is it enough? Is the question for me. Um,
I Here's my thing. I think the hardest thing the Nets are going to have to go through are the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like getting off of the drama. And I think once if Ime Udoka can get these guys to buy in, we've already seen KD play stellar defense before when he's bought in.
yeah,
Okay? Kyrie with effort is an average, maybe even a little bit better defender. He's just undersized, kind of like Steph. If
hmm
Steph was 6'5", he'd be an all NBA player, like an all defensive player. I kind of feel like the same thing with Kyrie.
hmm
But for me, I think this is the way that you get Ben Simmons back to himself. Start with the defense. Because
right,
like he's been playing solid defense, but I mean, we're talking about a guy that was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year before he, hey, Sixers, fuck you. Before he did that for a year.
yeah,
So I mean, I think it's a really good coaching hire if they can get through the initial baggage of it.
right.
You know what
Because
I
I
mean?
mean,
If they can stay afloat.
essentially, you're just adding more baggage onto a pile of baggage.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, they're all gonna have to put that to the side and kind of buy into competing for a championship. And I mean, that's the expectations when you have Katie and Kyrie on your team.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just crazy because you look back at the summer and like Katie basically gave Sean Marks the ultimatum, like it's me or the coach,
Yep.
and he's gotten his way in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think they didn't fire him in the offseason just because they wanted to see what the team would look like with Ben Simmons first.
Yeah,
I think that's what the whole reasoning was for it. But because like it's kind of perfect when you think about it. That's probably Sean Marks' argument. It's like, look, our team's a little bit different. You know what I mean? Let's see what this coach can do before we fire him. So that makes KD stick around, and that keeps Steve Nash in the building. Now you're losing games. Now you have an out
yeah,
with Steve Nash, and KD's still on the roster. So
right.
I mean, I think this has a chance to really work out for the Nets. I think they're a better basketball team today.
I agree. I
Um,
agree.
I don't think this team should be going out, on the streets on off days for a little while. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be caught having sexual intercourse with anybody else.
Yeah.
So,
Listen, the nightclubs, the night of the days of after game nightclub runs, and you know the the happy ending trainer massage recovery things. Ime Udoka
yeah,
um, is in the rear view mirror. Um, yeah, I mean this has the makings to like be like a season defining move for the Nets if they want to
hmm,
like make a deep run in the playoffs, possibly make the finals. Um, to get to that point, I still think they need a little more interior. Um,
I agree.
I mean, you're gonna need a guy down there that can play good defense, but also can get his and kind of stretch the floor. You don't really need like a stretch big,
No,
but just someone that plays really good defense and has a little mid-range game. Um, if they get that and Ime Udoka has them playing like insanely good defense, this team is a problem for the Eastern Conference.
that's the thing though. They don't have to play insanely good defense. If they play top 15
Yeah.
defense, they're good enough to win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you got two of the best scoring basketball players on the planet.
Yeah, they're going to score points for
So
sure.
yeah, and I mean that's the thing with a team like that, you're going to give up defense. So if anybody's going to kind of like get you any resemblance of like a decent defense, it's Udoka. So
Yep.
I think it's a good hire. I'm interested to see like how it all unfolds as far as system wise. And Ben Simmons, maybe he'll get him to like be more aggressive.
I think so.
Because as of right now, like every night the Nets play and Ben Simmons is active, that Ben Simmons under for points is free money.
Pretty much.
He's scared to shoot. He's scared to dunk the basketball and shoot layups.
Yeah, it's like this year, at least, I feel like he's been trying, but he hasn't been good around the rim. You know what I mean? Like and I've been saying this since people started talking about his shooting. Like, he doesn't need a 3-point shot. If he could just develop a mid-range.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least unclogs the paint a little bit. And I think there'll be moves to be made. I think there'll be some players available throughout the year that they could possibly make moves for. And if Udoka's pushing for a defensive-minded team, I could see a Joe Harris and a Darion Sharp move for a wing or a big or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, Miles Turner's a name that's been talked about.
Yeah.
So
there'll be options there.
Yeah.
So
plenty of options.
Yep. All that's left for them to do now is trade for Deshaun Watson, and then they've got a pretty damn good you know what I mean?
Their training staff will be very busy in the back room.
Yeah.
On off days.
Yeah, fucking. Who wants to go down to Brooklyn for a fucking orgy? Let's go. Jesus.
We'll start in Brooklyn. We'll go to Cleveland.
Yeah. This one's for you. All right.
Let's get into tonight's game. Game 3. Phillies at the bank, taking on the Astros. I mean, it's been a day of pure
an extra day of rest.
Yeah.
Just I think that game getting postponed yesterday could prove to be a problem for the Phillies. Like I was talking to you last night about it, but this just gives Verlander another day, and it might give Valdez a chance to come in a game earlier. Pitching wise, at least. Like tonight, I thought it might have been Nola. They had talked about it, but it looks like it's going to be Ranger Suarez taking the mound, which is fine. But it's good for our bullpen. But I don't know. Like I felt more confident about us winning the series yesterday than I do today, just because like now instead of seeing Verlander in Game 5 and Valdez in Game 6, it might be 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And it works the same way with Nolan's and Wheeler, but I mean, like, we were able to get lucky in Game 1, I think. I don't feel like we should have been in that game at any point.
Yeah.
But I don't think Verlander's going to give up 5 runs like that again. So
he's pretty good.
So, I mean, looking ahead, I think tonight, Bryce Harper, this will probably be a big game for Bryce Harper. First home game, World Series. I think he's gonna try to make some shit happen.
Yeah, I mean, last time he played at the bank, Bedlam at the bank.
Yep.
All-time Philly classic moment.
In the last two Phillies games at home, Rhys Hoskins has 3 home runs and 6 RBIs. I don't see him really doing too much tonight because it's a right-handed pitcher, and McCullers tends to go later in games because he's a good high pitch count guy. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's so hard to really predict this series because like I don't want to be a homer when it comes to the Phillies because I know how talented the Astros are. But I mean, I
It's
really do feel like
possible.
this team has a chance. It really does come down tonight. If we go down 2-1 with 2 games in Philly and 2 games in Houston left, I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just gotta execute.
Yep. I think Schwarber and Bryce Harper combined for like 4 hits tonight, or at least four times being on base together. But for our right-handers, I don't know. For our right-handed hitters, I don't know. Castellanos has been ass. Reese can't hit against
Yeah.
right-handers, but he also goes crazy at home. So it's really hard to predict this game. But
Yeah.
fuck it, Phillies in 5. So
Yep. Phillies in 5. I stand by it.
stand by it.
Undefeated at home in the postseason.
And we took a game off the team that was undefeated so far in the postseason. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You could take that as a win if you want.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could take that for what it is.
truthfully, yeah.
Um, I mean, if you really want to look at it, I mean, the 76ers took a game off of the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals in like 2001 when they were undefeated,
hmm
and they lost in 5. So, I mean, hey, anything could happen. I'm rooting for the Fightins.
Of course.
Gotta. All right, let's get into this football stuff.
Yeah, let's
So,
do it.
yeah. So, like I said earlier, today was the trade deadline came and went 4 o'clock. A record 10 league wide moves. Um, some of these were very interesting. Some were kind of like gonna
Who
be
gives a
in
shit?
fall. Yeah, they're gonna fall into obscurity. Some are like,
hmm
holy shit, that's a big move. Um, I mean, we can start with, um, we can. I mean, we already talked about Robert Quinn. We can start with Roquan Smith being traded to the Baltimore Ravens.
Actually, I don't think we brought this up in the last pod, but I do want to talk about the Jonathan Hankins pickup, and I do want to
Oh
talk about
yeah,
the Kadarius Toney trade
we
too.
could talk. Yeah, we could talk about that.
hmm I mean, the Cowboys first off send a seventh rounder. I mean, to send a sixth rounder to the Raiders, they get back a seventh and Jonathan Hankins. I think this is going to be an underrated move for them. No one's really going to talk about it, but Hankins as a run stopper is very important, especially for that team that likes to give up yards on the run. Um,
Yeah,
not too much to say about it. I just felt like it should have been mentioned because I could see that trade being something that puts the Cowboys, like, you know what I mean, taking another step. Not necessarily put them over the hump, but it gives
yeah. It's
them
not. It's not an over
versatility
the
on
hump.
defense.
It's not an over the hump move, but it's definitely like a
hmm
depth
Yeah.
mood move.
Now,
Um, it gives
what are
them
you?
big
Yeah.
body.
hmm
Um, I still like I look at that move being an Eagles fan, and it's just like okay, and
Yeah, it's definitely an okay trade for sure, but I feel like, you know what I mean. In a big game, he's a guy that could, you know what I mean, get a goal line stop, or like or like on a 3rd and 2, they're running the ball. You know what I mean.
right,
He that's the situation the Cowboys have been struggling most with this year, and I feel like he helps stir that up.
yeah,
Now, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the Kadarius Toney trade.
yeah. He gets traded to Kansas City. Um, I mean, we're talking about a guy who has barely played any snaps. Um, for some reason is always hurt, can't find the field. But his upside is insane. Um, and he gives another electric spark to this Chiefs offense if he's on the field and if he stays healthy. Um, I I'm not sure like immediate impact wise if that makes sense. Um, he might not come in there and be like I don't know, like eight for
Tyreek
a
Hill.
buck. Yeah, like 8 for a buck 10 and 2 touchdowns, something like that. Um, he can definitely be one of those guys that like. I mean, they could use him like a Tyreek Hill thing, kind of like get
Yeah.
him involved in like I don't know, like jet sweeps and like
Screens.
yak concepts.
Hmm.
Because he can make people miss, and he's got some talent. Definitely underrated. Um, but I don't know like immediate impact wise, but that's a good like long term move.
Yeah, I agree. Like, for me, just from because like I don't know if shout out to the YouTuber Bangle. I don't know if you've ever watched his YouTube stuff. He's a Madden rebuilder, also pretty knowledgeable about the NFL, and he's a Giants fan. So he was showing tape on Kadarius Toney during the draft, and like he came out with a statement and said that guy's going to be the best open field receiver in the NFL. Like, catch the ball, open field. And like the Chiefs gave up a third round pick, so clearly they value him enough. And like,
Yeah,
I don't feel like you give up a third and a sixth if he's not going to see the field. Like once he's healthy, I think, boom, that's your wide receiver 3. I don't think Sky Moore is him yet. I don't think. Um, well, maybe McCole Hardman. It depends. Like, maybe they stick McCole Hardman back to punt returning and things like that.
yeah.
But
It's gonna be
I
interesting to see where they
yeah.
go as far as like incorporating him. But he'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely like provide a spark to the offense just based on like his talent, his potential. His upside is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of him, buying into the system because we know if he's had a little bit of like off-field stuff in the past and staying healthy.
That's why I think KC's perfect for him, because a lot of guys that have had things like that,
Yeah,
like, they'll hold on to you. If you clean your shit up, you'll get opportunity. If you don't, look at Kareem Hunt. Get your ass out of town.
yeah.
So.
And speaking of Kareem Hunt, he did not get moved. Unfortunately, he's not an
Mm-hmm.
Eagle. He's still a Cleveland Brown. Uh, that's all right with me. It like I said on the last pod, it's not a need, it's a want. You know,
Yep. Yeah, we
we're we're
we were
still fine.
sitting when
Yeah.
we were sitting at Scorecard yesterday. Shout out Scorecard Bar and Grill, best place on the planet. But
Ate like a fat kid.
for real. But like, we're
My
sitting there
stomach.
watching the Browns Bengals game, and I hear him say some shit like, "Yo, Kareem Hunt, just slide, bro. You got a game on Thursday."
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
you gotta catch a flight to Philly tomorrow because you got a game on Thursday against Houston.
Yeah, that shit was funny, but I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'm not surprised it didn't get moved, just because that 1-2 punch is so good out there.
Yeah. No, for
Hmm.
sure. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. I think the Eagles are fine with their core guys that they got. Miles
Yep.
Sanders kind of being their bell cow guy. Then the combination of Gainwell, Boston Scott, and Trey Sermon. Um, I think that's more than enough
Yeah, you're fine.
behind that offensive line.
Hmm.
Perfect. Um, Speaking of running backs, this was a big one. Naheem Hines got traded from the Colts to the Buffalo Bills. Um, this definitely makes the Bills more better.
Yes, like I was saying to you a couple hours ago, like when this move happened, like, and I'll just say this is probably my favorite move of the day over
Yeah,
the Bradley Chubb, over T.J. Hawkinson. Like, the biggest issue, like, you look at the game. What was that? Sunday night. They're up big against the Packers, and they just keep luckily they're winning these games, but they're just letting teams off the hook in the second half every week. And
Yeah.
Devin Singletary is more of a gadget running back, like do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, he's not your 5 carries a drive type guy. And neither is Naheem Hines, but I could very well see Naheem Hines get two. Yeah, I could see him. Yeah, I see him on the goal line, being the featured back, and then getting 8 to 12 carries in the second half if they're up, because he's a guy that thumps. You know what I mean? 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. I think that helps the Bills, especially in second half of games, closing these teams out, because you can't give KC any breathing room, and you can't give the Dolphins any breathing room, because they will expose you. Yeah. They absolutely will. One glimmer of hope, and they're punching through that.
Yeah. Not only can he tote the rock, he can also, catch it too. So he gives you multiple things. Also return punts. It's definitely a good pickup for them.
Absolutely, and you move off of Zach Moss, who's done nothing for you, and a 6th-round pick to upgrade. Hell yeah, I do that any day of the week.
Yeah, the top off for a Super Bowl run. Why not? Miami made a slew of moves. Jeffrey Wilson and Bradley Chubb are now Miami Dolphins. They did trade away what's his name? Chase Edmonds to Indianapolis,
which is fine. You know what I mean? That he's been their second backs with Raheem Mostert over the last few weeks. Yeah. I saw it posted on Twitter. That 1st-round pick was a Niners pick that they sent to Denver. So when the Niners traded those 3 picks to Miami to get Trey Lance,
right,
one of those picks went towards Tyreek Hill. Yep. The other one was packaged in a move-up to get Jalen Waddle. And now this one got you Bradley Chubb.
It's crazy.
You basically traded Trey Lance for 3 featured players on your team.
That's some Howie Roseman shit right there.
That it really is. And the Bradley Chubb pickup, I know Denver was asking for a lot, but I mean, what has Bradley Chubb done? What has Bradley Chubb done? You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't go week to week thinking, when you think of the Broncos defense, you don't think of Bradley Chubb. You think of Pat Surtain, and you think about the safety combo.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, he really hasn't done much since Von Miller. I mean, he's been consistent. He's been good, but I don't know if he necessarily puts them over the hump. It makes their pass rush was terrible, and they definitely got a really good player to help shore that up. But I don't think is he one of those pass rushers like a Von Miller that we see hey, 3rd down and 4th down, look out for this guy because he's going to make a play. I don't know. I don't know if he's that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, the AFC. It's really tough to gauge. All right, this is the number 1. This is the number 2. This is 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's obviously Chiefs, Bills, and then after that, I mean, yeah. Take your pick. Baltimore, Miami, the Chargers,
the Jets.
Come
on, bro. We're 5-3. Until we are under 500, you have to include the Jets in the conversation, okay? Just for me.
That's fair.
Just for me.
And the Titans, too. We ain't even talking about the Tennessee Titans.
Nobody gives a shit about the Tennessee Titans, other than Derrick Henry, who ran for 215 this week.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it definitely makes their defense better. But my thing, and I've seen with Tua, I mean, he's not bad. He definitely he's done some good things. But at times, his decision-making really irks me. It's just hard to watch some of the throws that he makes. So, late game situations against teams like Buffalo and the Kansas City,
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I combine the hype of Bradley Chubb putting them over the top to be a Super Bowl team. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really gonna talk shit on Tua or like bring up anything with him because until I see him throw away a game for Miami,
I've seen it.
yeah, but we haven't this year. He's 5-0 with this team, with these receivers.
Yeah, I mean,
So I
I've
mean,
seen. I mean,
yeah,
the Cincinnati actually in the Cincinnati game before he went out, he was throwing that game away.
yeah, hmm
Um, so that's my
true.
thing. I don't know.
hmm
It's kind of weird, but we'll
We'll
move on
see
to that.
throughout the
Yeah.
rest of the year. I mean, it's unfortunate they're not going to make the playoffs since the Jets are going to steal their wild card spot. So but you
Hell
know,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Good
but
for you.
and then the Jeff Wilson pickup. I mean, if Jeff Wilson's the running back that we see with the Niners and he's not just one of them system guys that they always have, that's a great pickup for them too. But I mean, like again with Raheem Mostert and guys like Matt Breida and things like that,
Yeah.
we haven't seen them really do anything outside of that system. So we'll see who Jeff Wilson really is. But they only gave up a fifth for him, so
Yeah.
at worst, a fifth round pick for a backup running back, that's solid. I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Moving on here. Chase Claypool gets his fresh start. He's paired with Justin Fields in Chicago.
Sick. He's going to get 10 targets a game and have 3 catches for 18 yards. Excellent. That move, I could care less. It doesn't make the Bears any better because Justin Fields is terrible. I keep saying it over and over and over. Justin Fields is not a quarterback. Not a good quarterback. Shouldn't be starting. Mitch Trubisky's better than him. I don't care.
Damn.
It does nothing for me.
What-
Darnell
what-
Mooney, he's not their number
what
one
did-
because to me, Darnell
Bro.
Mooney is unbelievable.
Bro,
So.
what did Justin Fields ever do to you, bro?
He just sucks, bro. I'm tired of hearing. I'm tired of hearing the crap. It's like you're either a guy or you're not, and he's not. It's simple as that. Like I could care less. Yeah, we got a new coach. Big fucking whoop.
Yeah.
I mean, how many coaches has Kirk Cousins played under? 4, and he's still turned into a pretty damn good quarterback. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I could care less. Like you're either a guy or you're not. Like we saw it with Baker.
Right.
You're a guy or you're not.
I mean, I think he has potential in the right situation.
Mhm.
Chicago, in his defense, hasn't really done anything to kind of like support him and put him in
True.
positions to succeed. So
Yeah.
I think he'll. I mean, in my opinion, he's a great value version of Jalen Hurts. He's never going to be like that guy.
Yeah.
But you know, like he could be a top 20 quarterback, top 15 at his peak.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like if you have to like put a really good team around your quarterback to make him succeed, you're never going to win a Super Bowl because he's always going to be your weakest link. We see it with Kirk. We see it with stop. We see it with
Dak Prescott.
Okay, we see it with Dak, even though I think Dak's better than Kirk. But
I know, but I'm just saying.
So far, yes.
We've seen Dallas Cowboys put an amazing team around Dak in the past, and he hasn't. I mean, he's won games in the regular season and filled the stat sheet, but in the postseason, he hasn't done a damn thing.
I know.
That's what I
know.
mean by that.
Yeah, I just didn't want to put him there yet, just because like, I mean he's not a young player in the NFL anymore, but it's not like the guy's 35. Like he's still got plenty of time.
Right.
Like I said, Kirk, like a guy like Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, like you know what I mean. If you have to go above and beyond to stack your team to win a Super Bowl, you never will be because your quarterback can't get it done. Another guy, Jimmy G. He's been to a Super Bowl. Has he won one? No.
It's close.
Yeah, he was close. No cigar.
Right.
So, like,
Almost. almost
When I say you're either a guy or you're not, you're either a Patrick Mahomes that can overcome losing a Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? Like, or you're not winning a Super Bowl. It's very hard to not win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's very hard to win a Super Bowl without a top 6 quarterback. Top 8 even. Fuck, top 10, but still.
Is Jalen Hurts a guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I think so. For me every week, like you haven't heard me be critical of Jalen Hurts. It's the Eagles in general. Like, every time I have something to say about the Eagles, like, well, I want to see this, they go out and do it. Like with Jalen Hurts, it was, yeah, he's getting 2 rushing touchdowns a game, but like, can he throw for these touchdowns? He had 4 this week. So like, you know what I'm saying? He's a guy, I think. Again, really, really young, and he's got plenty of time in his future, but still.
He's 23.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's just my thoughts on that Claypool move. And they gave up a 2nd-round pick? Are you kidding me? Like, you could get a guy twice as good as him in the 2nd round. Especially with the loaded-ass receiver classes that have been happening the last few years.
And not only that, but look, the Browns got Amari Cooper for, what, a 4th or 5th-round pick? And he's twice as good as Claypool.
Exactly. Like, and it's the market varies year to year, but I mean, like, still. Like, there's no way in hell. If Chase Claypool goes for a 2nd-round pick, that means Elijah Moore should go for a 1, and DJ Moore should go for 2 1s. You know what I mean?
Amari Cooper should have probably went for 4 or 5 1s.
Exactly. Like, I hate that move. Good on the Pittsburgh Steelers for fleecing the Bears.
Fleece.
But like,
Howie classic. Fleece.
Yeah, but this does absolutely nothing for the Bears. It does nothing for them. Because Chase Claypool, I don't think, is a guy that's going to make Justin Fields better. So,
I think he might make him a little bit marginally better. Because
I mean,
Claypool's an upgrade over what they've got.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, he can make plays, but he isn't that like Amari Cooper, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, D Hop. Like,
no,
he's
like
not like that dude.
To me, like, Darnell Mooney is a top 15 talent-wise receiver. If you're looking at talent, and what the fuck has he done? Like, what? He's not doing anything with Darnell Mooney. Like, I mean, maybe this opens it up a little bit more because, you know what I mean, takes a little bit of pressure off him. But like,
right?
I don't know. Like, it's a dumb trade in my opinion. Like, and that's a move you make when you're looking to contend, and like now we'll transition. Like, but they moved off Roquan Smith and they moved off Robert Quinn. Like, what are they doing? Like, what's the play here?
Draft picks,
I guess.
I don't know, but yeah, Roquan Smith traded to the Ravens.
That's a problem.
That Baltimore defense is going to be scary hours for the AFC. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, my Birds don't have to play them this year. Because ain't no way that the Ravens are getting to the Super Bowl with the cast of receivers that Lamar Jackson is throwing to. Mm-hmm. But that defense is something else.
Yeah, they have
Roquan Smith.
Yeah, the Ravens now have arguably a top 3 linebacker duo with Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. That is, it's such a big time trade. You give up a 2nd, but I think Roquan Smith, knowing the history of Baltimore defenses, he's probably willing to resign there. So I don't feel like it's as much of a rental as maybe some people might. But I mean, that's look, we want to go on a run, we're going to do it.
Right.
So,
you know, the saying goes, defense wins championships.
Well, and you know, it's a problem. You know what? This does open up a problem for the Ravens, though. This is just another guy that needs to get paid.
Yeah.
To take some away from Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But for this year, that's a huge trade.
Right. Mm-hmm. I just don't. it might put them like 3 or 4 in the AFC. I don't think it gets them over the Chiefs Bills though. I mean,
Nope.
they just have too much offensive firepower and they're stout on defense enough that they can hold like Lamar's cast of whoever's that he's throwing to. Um,
Hmm.
and not only that, but Bateman's out for a couple weeks now, so
And
things
like,
are getting
yeah.
things are thin for the
Mhm.
receivers.
I mean, let's say it how it is. I mean, like they could have traded for 3 other guys like Roquan Smith. Are we confident Lamar Jackson can go into Buffalo and beat? If we're just looking at the quarterbacks, dude. I mean, like when it really comes down to it, you're really looking at these quarterbacks. Like, can Lamar Jackson go into Kansas City or into Buffalo and say, you know what, I'm better than you today. I'm going to beat you today. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. If he had like a little better of a supporting cast as far as the
Yeah.
receivers go, because you need playmakers to you know
Yeah.
you can't just do it all on your own. And
The
Lamar
definition,
Jackson,
yeah.
he is an electric player, but I mean you gotta have other guys that step up.
Yeah. They have like I think the perfect word for their offense is stale. Like
Yeah,
they don't have much over the
vanilla.
top after like you know what I mean after moving Marquise Brown. Like they don't have like
I mean, you have
eh,
Mark Andrews, but that's not enough.
no, that's not enough. Especially when you're going up against the better tight end with the Chiefs and
Yeah.
not much of a downgrade with Buffalo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Dawson Knox, I think is a top 7 tight end. Yeah,
He's
he's
top
he's
10,
like
yeah.
he's probably somewhere like 1 or 2 spots below Dallas Goedert. I'd say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It gets a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. I feel like when we were having that tight end conversation, we should have put Dawson Knox up there more. We should have talked about him because we said it was Kittle and Travis, Mark Andrews, and Goddard, and then a drop off. I don't think the drop off's huge with Dawson Knox. He just doesn't get the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe they go and sign a receiver. I mean, there's a lot of good guys still out there. Cough
Yep.
cough OBJ. So who knows? Um, we'll get into this next one here. Calvin Ridley shipped to Jacksonville. This is a guy who has been suspended for the year for doing what we do on this show with our FanDuel sponsorship someday.
Yep.
Sports betting.
A year.
For the whole year.
Like I get you want to protect the integrity of the game, but the guy wasn't even on the field.
Yeah.
He's been hurt. He was hurt. Like if he was playing with the Falcons and he bet on the other team to win that he was playing against, okay.
Yeah.
But like
But he wasn't even playing.
he wasn't even playing and like it just makes no sense. Like I get punish him like but to me that's a 4 game suspension. You know what I mean?
8
Like
at most.
8 at most.
Honestly.
Like if you want to protect the integrity of the game, give him an 8 game suspension. But like,
Then fine him like I don't know, 250,000. I don't
yeah,
know, something like
like
that. But it's just criminal that he got suspended for an entire year, but Deshaun Watson can sit up here with 26 civil cases and
having
suspended for 12.
having sexual intercourse
Yeah.
with all those massage therapists.
Yep.
Every time I think about that, I think about
You mean Udoka?
yeah. Have you watched Friends?
Of course. Who hasn't?
Do you remember Rachel's boyfriend in like season 1? What was his name? The long-haired dude didn't speak English.
I don't know his name, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Do you remember when he went to get a massage from Phoebe? And took the towel off? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's every time I think of Deshaun Watson and his like suspension, I think of that.
Oh my god.
but like, but no, like
Single.
if we're looking at the Calvin Ridley trade for football wise, this makes them a lot better. Calvin Ridley to me is a
Yeah.
one. When he's healthy, we'll see what he looks like after being out for a year.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's crazy because that's a guy the Eagles damn near had on their
yep,
team right before this all came out. And if
yeah.
that was the case, AJ Brown would never be here.
You give up a fifth and a fourth for a guy like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an investment right there. That's the definition of an investment. We're gonna give up this stuff now. It's
Right.
not gonna have huge amounts of impact, and we're gonna be better next year. And that's big for Trevor Lawrence. So
Yep.
I like the trade, especially with his value being down for having for that sports betting.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a good trade as well.
yep,
He's definitely gonna make that offense a lot better. And it's honestly not even that bad.
yeah,
They just need some weapons, and that's one big one right there.
yep.
But we'll see next year with that one.
I think I think
Speaking of
there's
another,
only yeah. Go ahead. There's only like one more notable trade. I think right.
yeah, the
Yeah.
T.J. Hawkinson move to Minnesota. Um, this makes the NFC very top heavy in my opinion. I believe on the upper echelon of the NFC is the Eagles, Niners, and Vikings, and then you take a couple steps down. Then you got Dallas, the Giants. I don't know, Seattle. Um,
Yeah.
that's a big move. I mean, with Irv Smith being on IR indefinitely, this is a guy who can come in, he can block, he can catch.
Yeah.
One of the he's top 10 tight end in the league. Um,
Yeah. 100%.
definitely makes the Vikings better, more scary. Um,
He's a baby Kittle.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, I think the thing that I really like about this trade is they gave up a second and a third, but they got two fourths back.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So they essentially didn't give up much. And like, and this is big because early on in the year, especially, it's been better as of late. But early on, their run game has been inconsistent.
yep.
And yeah,
Like when we played them week 2, after DeAndre Swift had like a career day, I was convinced that Dalvin Cook was going to like run all over the defense.
mm-hmm.
Um, and that didn't happen. We shut him down.
No, and he's
It
top
was
five
surprising.
running back.
Yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Those
Like,
aren't guys like you can have the best defense. You don't expect to slow down guys like that. You just expect to, you know what I mean,
contain him,
deal with it and overcome it. That's it.
right? But I mean, he was like a non-factor all day.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, but this
partially in part to how good the Eagles' defense is at stopping the run and just in
mm-hmm.
general. Um, but T.J. Hawkinson definitely will help not only Dalvin Cook but Kirk Cousins because that's another weapon that he has to throw to. And now you got Justin Jefferson on one side, Thielen on the other side, and Hodkinson as your
Yeah,
number one tight end, and Dalvin Cook in your backfield. That's a pretty good off. I'd say that's probably a top 5 offense.
I think so. And he's going to be big on goal line.
Yeah,
Goal line and like because you don't see a lot of Justin Jefferson like third and threes. You know what I mean? You don't. That's typically Adam Thielen's role, but I mean, you bring in another guy like Hawk. I that's big. That is really big.
yeah,
Because him being like, and he'll be really good for like for things like RPOs. Like,
yep. I mean, they can use him like. I mean, Kirk Cousins is not what Jalen Hurts is with using the RPOs, but I mean, you see how they use Dallas Goedert in the RPO game.
yeah,
You can't stop it.
mm-mm.
And that's the thing that, as an Eagles fan, like we're so spoiled with, is how Jalen Hurts' ability to run keeps the defense so honest because either handing it to Miles Sanders, or you're keeping it and running it, or you're keeping it and looking off the end and throwing the Dallas Goddard on like a 4 yard out where you can
Yep.
go get 20
Hmm.
plus. It's hard to stop for defenses. Like
For sure.
matchups are just
For sure.
nuts.
And him being the big body he is, and we've seen him go for a $110 and a tud. Like this pulls linebackers off of like shadowing some of these receivers on their team, especially with how good some of the linebackers are in the top of the NFC. You got, Kaiser and TJ, and then you have in San Fran you have Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw. This just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's a guy that you might throw an extra guy in the box, and that opens things up for the other receivers. So that's a really, really good trade for them too. And like, he'll have a game or two with them this year where he goes for 90 and a tud.
Yeah.
Because he's that good of a receiver.
Yeah.
I think I just talked myself into convincing myself that he might be a top 5 tight end. But yeah, top 10 top 5 tight end. But like, it's big for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and now you look at this landscape, and that's, I mean, you would think as far as looking at the rosters, that's the 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the Eagles can take care of both of them, although I don't think like they handedly take care of them like I did like a week or two ago. I still think they take care of business though. I think their roster is just too talented. There's just too many guys, too many dogs.
Yep.
But it definitely is going to make the NFC playoff picture once we get, into the second and third rounds of it. Very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
As a fan of the top seed, I don't like that because I just want it to be easy. But that's what makes it all more worth it in the end.
For sure.
We'll just go. We'll blow through these last couple here, and then we'll move on. I mean, Will Jackson the third traded from the Washington Commanders to the Steelers. Jacob Martin, pass rusher out of the Jets, traded to the Broncos. And no Brandon Cooks trade.
Yeah.
No Kareem Hunt trade. I will say Dallas was in talks to get Brandon Cooks, just didn't materialize. And Brandon Cooks was not happy about it on his Twitter.
Yeah, they just, from what I'm reading here, they couldn't figure out the draft compensation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate, Jerry.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so funny because he literally was like, "Oh yeah, we got something planned. Y'all better watch 4 p.m. boys," and we cannot get it off.
Well, that's fine because they're just gonna go ahead and sign Odell. So.
No, they're not.
If they sign Odell, bro. If they sign Odell, I think that puts them in the Vikings.
Yeah, that would. That would for sure. Here's to hoping that they don't, though.
Yeah, bro.
Cheers, yo.
I'll pour one out. I'll pour one out for you if they.
The Ravens and the Rams still exist.
Yeah, I'll pour one out for you if they sign Odell. Okay.
Okay.
Because I think even Odell off this ACL could be better than Amari Cooper. You know what I mean for Dak. Yeah. So.
That'd be a big time move.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see. So that was the trade deadline.
Real quick, actually, before we move on to Thursday Night Football, looking at all these trades and the wide receiver movement that we didn't have, where do we think Odell's going to go? Because we thought Green Bay was going to get a guy. We thought, I mean, the Chiefs got their guy. We thought the Ravens were going to get a guy. Cowboys.
They almost got a guy.
Yeah, like I feel like maybe the Cowboys are the front runner right now.
I don't know.
Because
I did read that the Giants are open to bringing Odell back.
Yeah.
So I think honestly the 4 teams that would probably be in the Odell sweepstakes are the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Packers would be a notable favorite, but I mean, as far as money goes, if he wants a bag, they're not going to give it to him. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has 75% of the salary cap for the
Yep.
year. Um, so I mean, yeah,
We haven't seen Odell. I'm looking at his Twitter feed now. He hasn't reacted to anything going on today. Last team he talked about was Buffalo.
yeah, that would
Dude.
be that would be unfair.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Giants GM Joe Schoen says team is open to bringing Odell back as he recovers from his ACL tear. So yeah,
Ooh. Ooh.
what?
Shout out JT Realmuto. Won a second Gold Glove today.
Hell yeah!
Shout out. Let's go.
Shout
Our Gold Glove catcher, baby. Let's go.
Hell yeah! Shout
Oh,
out
man.
Realmuto,
Now come out there and hit a couple dingers for me, why don't you?
please. All right, making another bedlam at the bank. We'll get into Thursday night football, but before we get into that, let's recap our picks from this past week.
Okay.
Um,
So, based on last week, we picked a lot of games similarly together. We only had, what is it? We had 2 games that we were indifferent on. 3 games. Okay?
yeah,
I went 7-8. You went 9-6. So you got back 2 games on me. I'm at 41-30. You're at 38-33. So, yeah, I'm still beating your fucking ass like I intended to, and I plan to continuously.
you
Yeah,
fucking lost this week though.
some of these picks
I
were,
gained ground on you.
yeah. Some of these picks were brutal. Like we took Vegas to beat New Orleans, they got shut out 24-0.
I don't know what we were thinking on that one.
We took Tampa Bay, they got stomped.
It was looking good there for a little bit, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We took who else? Yo, my favorite cover for us for the week was Green Bay at -10.5. They lost by 10.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was a solid play. And then I took Cleveland last night. You took Cincy.
Yeah. And I guess you took the Giants and I took Seattle, and then you took the Jags and I took the Broncos in London.
Yep.
Hey, let's ride. Let's ride, Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
This hater down here didn't want to ride. I'm a ride. Let's ride.
Fuck Denver.
Still traded Bradley.
They got worse today.
They did get worse today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said,
let's get into Thursday.
Why don't we get into this little slaughterfest that we got going on right here? Mm-hmm. Thursday night football. The Eagles, 7-0, traveling into Houston to take on the Houston Texans, who are, from what this says, 1-5-1. 13.5 point spread. That Texans are debuting their red helmets.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna look real quick on the injury report. Other than that, I mean, the Eagles, Jordan Davis is obviously out 4 to 6 weeks with the high ankle sprain. So that's gonna be a blow. But I still think our depth at the D line is gonna mask that. I mean, Milton Williams and Hargrave both got a sack after he went out, so I don't think there's much of an issue.
Yep.
But as far as the Texans,
here's a little. I think the Eagles run all over them. Derrick Henry just had 219 on him. That's who they played. 219 and 2 tuds.
Yeah.
On the Texans last week.
Rushing tuds. I agree. I think Jalen Hurts scores 1. In Houston, this is his thing. I mean,
oh damn.
I'm looking at the stats right here. I mean, look, the Houston Texans are bottom of the barrel in yards allowed at 403. We're third in the league at 298. I mean, this is just the biggest mismatch that you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. The week before, Josh Jacobs ran for 150 and 3 tuds on him.
I think Miles Sanders is going to have a career day. He might have a $140.
He just might.
He's going to have like a $140 and two tuds.
Yep.
Hurt's gonna have one on the ground. Um, I don't know. I think this is gonna be like a. I could totally see this being like a 38-13
Yeah,
football
just
game.
absolute slaughter. So with that, we're both taking the spread on that. We're both taking Eagles.
Yep, I'm going Eagles minus 13.5. You can actually write me down for minus 20 for all it fucking matters.
Yeah, I'm taking them
But
too.
give me the Eagles at minus 13.5 to give me money line and spread.
Yeah, they're averaging the second least passing yards per game.
The Texans.
Yep, behind the Chicago Bears with their shitty ass quarterback that they have.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Under 100 yards a game rushing, which is pretty bad.
yeah, this is just like this has all the inclinations for like a 50 burger, honestly.
Yep.
I think at the worst, the Eagles probably put up the most points this week.
Yeah, I could
They
see
could
it.
they could they could easily put up like 52, easily 40, 30 without a doubt. They can beat this team easily, I think. Um, but I do like how they're not getting ahead of themselves. When you listen to them like speak to the media, they're kind of taking it one day at a time. They're focusing on what's in front of them. They're not like, oh, well, the Texans are fucking ass. We can sit here and talk about the Texans being ass. They don't have to. They just worry about their matchups, worrying about what they got to do. And that's what I love about this football team. I mean, look, and I mean, you said it earlier in the year. Like, I don't know, like, the success, they might get to them. I don't think
Yeah.
so, honestly. When you listen to like Jalen Hurts talk to the media and some of the leaders on the team, the way that they talk about like the day to day things and controlling what you can control, and how they haven't played their most complete game yet. Um, I think it's really it's almost inevitable to think like I'll ask you this question and you let me know what you think. Could the Eagles really go 17-0? I know we talk about like, oh yeah, no, that'd be funny like as a joke, but there's like with the way that this team's playing, the way that they've won games, and then when you just look at how they're constructed, like it's so hard to like stop them because they can beat you in multiple ways. So can they really go 17-0?
I think they can. I really don't think they will. I don't think they will. They're going to slip somewhere. I think they lose one game.
I think they probably lose two at max, probably one, honestly.
I think the game that I absolutely think they will lose is the one in Dallas.
Quite possibly.
I mean, cuz like that's honestly their toughest game left.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at their schedule, they got Houston Thursday, and then a little mini bye. They play the Commanders at home Monday night. I'm gonna be at that game. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be getting lit as fuck. It's gonna be lit. That's a dub. And then they go to Indianapolis, and then they play the Packers at home, Titans at home, which I think they'll take care of Aaron Rodgers, even though he's had a pretty good record in Philadelphia. I just think like the team is just too good to lose to Green Bay overall.
Yeah.
Tennessee could be like I could see that one being an L,
Yeah.
just because like that's a team that you're not really talking about. Their defense, I mean, they've been playing pretty good. Derrick Henry is a dog. And at times, our team really struggles with stopping the run. Um, they're not like shit, but at times, teams are able to kind of get off on us,
Hmm.
get some yards. So Derrick Henry might have a day, but I think AJ Brown might have a day as well. So we'll see. And then in New York, it's a dub. In Chicago, it's a dub. And in Dallas, could go either way. I'd like to say that that's a dub. And then Saints in Philly, and then Giants Eagles. I think that last one might be an L, just because if we have the 1 seed by that point, we're probably resting starters.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at
I mean,
at most probably 3.
yeah. That
Three,
that Titans
obviously
game, they're on a
Dallas and the
sneaky.
Giants.
The Titans are on a sneaky 5-game win streak right now. They're 5-2.
Yeah.
They started 0-2.
So I could totally see like a 14-3. Um Probably 15-2. But we'll see. I mean,
We'll see.
there's a lot of football to be played yet.
Absolutely.
It's interesting to see if the playoffs started today. Um Let me look at this graphic. So in the NFC, I mean, obviously Eagles are number 1. Your wild card matchups would be the 7 seed San Francisco 49ers taking on the 2 seed Minnesota Vikings. The 3 seed Seattle Seahawks taking on the 6 seed New York Giants, and then the 4 seed Falcons taking on the 5th seed Cowboys. Then the AFC, Buffalo Bills are number 1, the Titans at number 2 taking on the 7 seed LA Chargers, the 3 seed Kansas City Chiefs taking on the 6 seed Miami Dolphins, and the 4 seed Baltimore Ravens taking on your 5 seed New York Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a dub, bro. The Jets are beating the Ravens.
Okay. Um, so I mean, look, that poses some good possible matchups. I mean, we look at this schedule in the NFC. I mean, you could possibly have a collision course if Dallas is like, if they hit like an equinox, and aren't the Cowboys of what we know in December, and it all just falls apart. We could be on a collision course for an Eagles Cowboys NFC Championship game in the link. But I mean, look, you got the Niners. They beat the Vikings. That's a big test in Philly, and then you have the Cowboys coming into town, which I think they can handle Dallas, but it's just like a
Yeah.
rivalry.
I think I don't know. For me, Dallas, I feel like this is the scariest they've been. One, because their defense is the best it's been, and two, they're not getting the love that they have in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, obviously the expectations are still there, like everything like that, but they're not get. I don't think they're getting the media coverage. I don't think they're just not getting the love that they have. So,
I mean, look, they'll never get love from me, so
well, clearly,
they'll be coming here to get love from me.
yeah, yeah.
Is fuck Dallas. Um, if that was to happen, just know that the Eagles would literally walk the Cowboys out.
Okay,
Be
you
a
can say
Dak
that
pack.
now.
It'd be a Dak pack.
I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, and in the AFC, those matchups are pretty tough as well. But yeah, I mean, it's looking. I mean, we're like halfway point of the regular season. It's looking spicy. I ain't gonna lie. It's looking pretty spicy.
A lot of teams we didn't expect to be there right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Tampa Bay, the Commanders, Arizona, all on the outside looking in. And even in the AFC, you got some teams there on the outside looking in. So
Mm-hmm.
anything can happen.
For sure. Oh man. Definitely interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm. You know what? because this pod's a little bit shorter, I kind of do want to talk Jets a little bit, and I want to get your opinions.
That's fine. You good?
Do you think we'll make the playoffs?
Give me a second.
Their schedule.
I'm looking at their schedule right now.
Ugh. It's tough. It's really hard. We still have 2 games against the Bills, at the Vikings, at Seattle, at Miami.
Honestly, I don't know, bro.
Like, the start was really good. Like, we got a good jump start. My whole thing is, because, like, looking at the NFC, like, if we look at the standings here, we go conference, NFC. We'd have to stay above the Patriots, which I think we will. I think we are a better team than the Patriots.
Yeah,
We'd have to stay above Cincy at 4-4. We'd have to stay above the Chargers at 4-3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Denver.
Denver, I don't think is good enough to like climb back in. And Cleveland, like, it all depends on how Deshaun Watson is. But I feel like looking at the standings, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Jags, the Steelers, and the Texans are probably all out of it. I don't think none of those teams are good enough to climb back in. But
yeah. I mean,
I think I don't even know talent-wise if we're a top 7 team.
You might have a chance. I honestly think you guys might get swept by the Bills. You might.
Yeah.
Did you beat the Dolphins already?
Yeah, we beat the Dolphins. We have the tiebreaker on
breaks off with the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys split with the Patriots. You might split with the Dolphins. Although that's a game. I don't know. We'll see. That's the Week 18 game.
Yeah.
I think y'all beat the Bears. You may lose to the Vikings and the Seahawks, but I think you guys can beat the Lions and the Jags. So, I mean, you guys could probably, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I mean, you guys might honestly be like 4-3, 3-4. And like,
which will put us at 9-8.
Yeah. I think you guys are about a 9-8 team.
Yeah, my whole thing is though, are the Chargers bad enough to be 9-8? Are the Cincinnati Bengals bad enough to be 9-8?
I can see the Bengals. The Bengals might be Chargers. Let's look at their schedule. Falcons. That's a dub. Niners. That's going to be a tough one. Chiefs. Cardinals. Raiders. That's a division game. Dolphins. Titans. I don't know. A lot of these games could go either way. They might get a game up on you, to be honest.
The Bengals still have at Pitt and at Titans.
Yep.
Which could both be losses. They're at home against KC and the Bills and the Browns. And then at the Bucks if the Bucks get better. Like this is probably going to end up being the team we compete with, Cincinnati.
I could see it.
You know what I mean? Like, unless like we're good enough to stay level with Miami, it'll come down to Week 18. But I think Miami will end up getting a game or two above us.
Let me look at their schedule.
Yeah, Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got some tough.
They got
tough
some.
ones
They
too.
got some easy ones. They also got some tough ones. Like, you got the Bears in Chicago, at home against the Browns, Texans, in San Francisco against the Niners, in LA against the Chargers, in Buffalo. That's tough. Packers at home, in New England, and then you guys. I mean, they could. Let me see. That's a
right.
It's yeah. I mean, look, that might be the 3 teams there that I don't know.
My whole thing is if we can get the running game, like it's not going to be as good as it was with Breece Hall, but if we at least can get the running game going because we couldn't this past week, then I could see us staying afloat. But like, if our running game's not happening, we could literally lose every game the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Unless Zach Wilson continues to get better throughout the year. But Zach Wilson, we're a quarterback away, so
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Zach Wilson sucks at football. I had a lot of faith in him. He sucks at football.
I'll be honest. If you probably if you had like Jimmy G, you guys would probably be a playoff team.
Yeah, I hate Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm so out on Zach Wilson.
Right, you're talking about him like, throwing bombs, banging bombs, and now he's just gonna be.
Well, I mean, he is doing that totally, but I mean, like,
yeah, pretty soon it's just gonna be banging bombs.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, do what you got to do, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, this is my problem with the Jets, bro. Like, let me see here. Let me go to 2021, the year we took Zach Wilson. Okay? Justin Fields was available at the time. Trey Lance was available. Well, I don't know. Like, I guess Zach Wilson is the right pick during that draft when there was Trey Lance after us and Justin Fields after us. You know what I mean? When you're looking at it prospect-wise, not talent now. But I mean, like, in the year we took Darnold, bro, what year was that? Was that 2018?
18.
Yeah, bro. Like, Josh Allen was taken afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, we just can't get the quarterback right. And a lot of teams are in the same boat, but I mean, like, Jesus Christ, we're not even close. At least Cleveland had a good year with Baker. Like,
yeah.
I mean, rest in peace, Josh Rosen, but like,
yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, glad we didn't take him. But I mean, like, in 2017, we took Jamal Adams, who isn't even there anymore. Patrick Mahomes went 10 that year. Deshaun Watson went 12. And I think that was also... No, that wasn't that year. But still, like, we took Jamal Adams at 6 when Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson were still on the board and we needed a quarterback.
Yeah.
What's 2020 look like?
It is what it is, man. I'm just looking at the standings in the NFC. I think it's just crazy that the Bears and the Packers have the same record.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
5.
It's pretty wild, for sure.
Yeah. This is gonna be interesting for sure to see how this plays out.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Bro, if the Jets miss the playoffs, that might be my last pod. I might have to shoot myself in the head.
No, bro, don't do that. I can't get the FanDuel sponsorship my own.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the Manscaped, bro. Clean your balls. Crop duster.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Before she comes to play on the field, trim the grass.
Yeah, bro. Mm-hmm.
Can't have the grass overgrown when you got company come over.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
The Manscaped.
Mm-hmm. It's a hell of a lot easier seeing where you're going in a desert compared to a jungle. So
that's true. Look, when you don't have to maneuver around a bunch of trees and bushes and stuff, you can just go straight.
Yeah.
Clear set stale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smooth sailing.
Yeah, shout out Manscaped. Give us some money. Give us some money. Yeah. Give us some money. Love you, Manscaped.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I don't think so, bro. I feel like it was a short pod, but we touched on a lot. I don't feel like there's much else going on around the sports world right now.
Yeah. I mean, we could have made our picks with how short this was.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to wait to see. I want to wait to make our picks to see what what players are playing this week and things like that. It's really early.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. In basketball, the Lakers suck. I don't think anyone's surprised.
They did win their first game, though.
They did. and Russell Westbrook actually looks solid coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But who gives a shit? Because they suck. So
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
yeah, they're gonna lose against the Pelicans next game. So
Zion.
yeah, their schedule's brutal. They got to play New Orleans. They got to play Utah, who's undefeated still, I think. Then they got to play Cleveland.
That's
You know
a
what I
team
mean?
where you're thinking, like, are they going to tank for Victor? And they're undefeated. Bro,
Yeah,
honestly, the Lakers might tank for Victor at this point.
bro, imagine. Nah, they're too good to get that low of a pick. They'll end up with like 10, 12, 13.
Yeah.
They're not going to be low enough to where like the lottery favors them unless they magically move up like they did that year with that Zion pick that they ended up trading to the Pelicans.
Right.
But yeah, their schedule's just brutal. Like they've got a bit of a lull in like early November, but then it's like in November 28th on Indiana, Portland, Milwaukee, Washington, Cleveland, Toronto, Philly, Detroit, Boston, Denver,
Oh,
Golden State. Like
literally all the good NBA teams in a row.
literally. Yeah, they're yeah, they got some problems out there, but I don't know, bro. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to watch this Phillies game. Shout out Red October. Oh, another thing. If the Phillies win the World Series, expect a long, heartfelt documentary from me talking about the Phillies. You know what I mean? I want to do something to show my appreciation because the Phillies were a big part of my childhood. I remember watching them winning the World Series. I was 7 years old in 2008. I watched them win the World Series, and to feel like it all coming back full circle now that I'm like a huge sports fan and we're doing this podcast and things like that, I want to dedicate a good maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm just gonna talk about, you know what I mean. Ever since 2009, when Ryan Howard tore his Achilles, it's been a drop off, and to be back where we are, it's just like I get so giddy. Like baseball isn't even my favorite sport, but it's been everything in my life. Like I played for 6, 7 years. I've like my favorite memories of my father were based around the Phillies and things like that. So it's a very important thing for me. So if they win, expect something like that. But other than that, I got nothing else. Nothing else.
That's pretty dope. I might have to copy you and make an Eagles one if they win the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, bro. On the pod.
I mean, I was old enough to like remember like a lot of what was going on around when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. It was only 5 years ago. But I mean, I've been an Eagles fan like way longer than that. Like I was around with the Chip Kelly thing, which was hard. It was very hard. So we got Doug Peterson and we went on that magical run. It was great, and then everything fell apart with Carson Wentz, and just to be where we're at now is like crazy. So that's wild. Hey, look, I say it like damn near every time we have a pod. This right here, I might have another one. I might have another one. We finna see. We finna see.
For sure. All right, that everything for you?
That's all I got.
All right. Well then, thank you everybody who tuned into this. Expect some posts on the TikTok soon. I finally got the account rolling, so go ahead and follow that. We'll put it in the description of the YouTube video for this pod. Manscaped, FanDuel, give us your money so we can bet, like mortgage payment on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. Things like that. And tell a friend, you know what I mean? On a bus, on a plane, on a boat, don't care. All got Wi-Fi.
In Antarctica. Don't really matter.
Absolutely.
And also check out the YouTube shorts. Yeah,
the YouTube shorts. We had one pop off because I was a dumbass in that one, but it is what it is. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'm Kyle. That's Anthony. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.